The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hi, my name is Leo Connors, and welcome to the Ring and All Other Sports. Tonight, I got two special guests, and we have an audience member, Maverick Wild, Tough Talk, Tony Spencer. Guys, thanks for coming on. Don't look so excited, Tony.
I thought I told you to wear a green bodysuit.
I think they coordinated. They both got superhero shirts on, guys. And what did you say? Where'd you get yours again?
Savers.
Hey, there's a plug. There's the first plug of the day.
Hey, they have to edit those plugs out. We can't just plug things here.
Why not? Guys, I need to know this. How'd you guys meet?
Did you come along while Jeff was still running the gym, or was it
No,
afterwards?
it was afterwards, after you had taken over. But the first week we went, you weren't there. And I remember because Shane Sharp had to come out to the parking lot, to the old building, in his singlet and boots and knee pads and bring us in. And Sonny was there that first week to evaluate us.
Okay.
And the very next week, I came back, and for the first time, the very first thing I ever did in the ring for you was take a back bump. And you were like, well, that was better than adequate. And that's how it started.
That would be a good nickname.
Better than
adequate Tony Spencer. Hey, just a thought. Just kidding. No, really though. But you're talking about the place behind Chicken and Chips.
Yeah,
Because I had actually gone up there and watched some training up there.
both are boarded up now. I just went by,
Really?
in fact. I just put a picture up of it.
Your
on
Chicken
my
and Chips
Facebook.
just had a fire today.
Yeah, is that what, was it today? Is that what
Today.
it was?
I think it was today. Yeah, today.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's why it was boarded up, I guess.
Yep. So,
Oh, my youth is fading now.
so talk to more about the training and stuff, because I mean, there must be some funny stories of working with training with. Who would you train with? Like, who are the other guys training?
It was Maverick was in charge.
Yep.
And then it was Sonny would be there. Dave Barron would be there. Stephen Marriott, Panther Martin. And then for the training class, we had three guys coming from Gardner, who had started maybe 2 or 3 weeks before us. So it was Guthrie O'Dwyer, Dan Thunder, and the kid who's the referee now, Adam West.
You forgot Vic.
Vic, I forgot. Well, Vic came later because the kids from Gardner had their whole backyard league.
Oh,
They had their
okay.
whole backyard. And Vic shows up, and he's got this tattoo on his arm, and he's just freaking clotheslining guys. And the clotheslines look great. You can't take the clotheslines away from the kid, but he had said ABW for their backyard league. And Sonny pulls him aside, and he says, you better start telling people that stands for all bitches welcome.
Yeah.
Actually, my favorite
God.
story about him was he decided he was going to get a rib war with Joey Eastman.
Yeah,
I wanted
he's
a
definitely
rib war.
losing that one.
He literally went up to him, Joe, I want a rib war with you. And I'm like, oh, God. And Joey's like, I don't think you want that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah, I do. So all Joey did was he put an ad on Craigslist that he had free Patriots season tickets available.
Oh, my
Call this number.
Non-stop.
Shut the kid's number down.
Wow. That's smart. Joey's
Came back
incredible.
the next week, is that I surrender.
Oh, my God. That is awesome.
It was like from Thinner. When he
Right.
came in, it's like, take the curse off.
Now, Panther Martin, that was Egghead too,
Yes,
right?
that was
all right,
Egghead.
all right, yeah, because I
Yeah.
remember him more as Egghead.
Yeah.
All right, some of the shows. Now, did you work for any of Jeff's shows?
I worked for Jeff exactly once near the end, where Jeff had a great deal of success running the building up in Plymouth, New Hampshire.
Okay.
Now, he'd run like maybe 3 or 4 all-women shows there. And of course, it's a college town. Of course, you're going to draw on the all-women shows. And I don't think they'd seen any entertainment like that in a couple decades. But then he's like, I got the magic formula, I got the magic ticket, and then we run that. Then when we tried to run a regular show, crickets. I think there was like 4 or 5 people showed up.
Wow. Yeah. That's too bad, because those shows were always fun.
It was cool too. It was an old train station. I loved that.
Yeah, it was a very cool
Plus,
venue.
it was very fun to watch Malaya Hosaka hit on Sarah afterwards in the Chinese food
stinky
restaurant.
Chinese food place. Yeah.
Who was Sarah?
Sarah was one of our trainees. And,
Okay.
what was her last name? I forget. at this point.
Blackheart.
Blackheart. Sarah Blackheart.
Now, did you remember when Jeff ran the women's show at the St. Stan's?
Yard.
And
He did one
Malaya
at the Yard.
Hasaka took on Luna Vachon in the main event, and they never went in the ring once. Actually, Malaya Hasaka was in the ring.
Yeah.
Luna came, and she jumped out of the ring, and they fought all around the building. It was wild. It was so good. And then I got a picture with Luna, and she's telling me to grab her leg, and she's like, I love this. I love this. I'm like, this lady's crazy.
Did I ever tell you that her and Sherry came on to me one time?
No way.
It was fun. They were kidding around. They weren't
too
really.
bad.
I was first couple of years in. I was up in Nova Scotia, someplace doing jobs, and all of a sudden, Luna and Sherry Martel start coming up to me, start running their fingers through my chest area.
Oh my God.
Saying, "We don't see this very often around here." I'm like, do I get? No, I was more like, do I get aroused or do I run?
I wish I would have met Sherry Martel.
The other thing I remember about that show, Nova Scotia, was Bret Hart complaining that the women were showing them up.
Really?
Yeah,
You should have worked harder.
Luna and Sherry were going around the horn at that time.
Dude, look at them. I mean, they were great workers, man. You know? All right. So, we did an episode on Kevin Hughes. Do you have any funny interaction with Kevin? I just figured I'd ask.
Kevin, I started bringing Kevin up back around the Nashua area after Jeff had retaken over the school from Maverick. I think he moved it to a business park not too far from here.
Around the Rotary, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Isn't that where Gary ran some shows in that same building, right?
No, you couldn't have run shows in this building.
Okay.
But this was basically it was like an old garage at right after the bridge. That goes
Yeah,
over.
Oh, okay.
yeah. There was
Coming out of Hudson.
there was an exotic bird place, and that's the only thing I remember. I remember having wrestling practice
Right.
and hearing like birds like 2 or 3 doors down.
it's
You
a-
never,
yeah.
yeah. But no, I started bringing up Kevin around that point. I remember we'd be driving up. I drove with Kevin all the way up to Plymouth for that show I talked about. We drove all the way up to Plymouth. Every time we go by a barn, he turned to me and go, "Hey, yeah, Kevin, you think there's a wrestling ring in that barn?" Every barn. And you know that if you're driving up a highway
Right.
in New Hampshire, you're going to go by quite a few barns.
Quite a few. That is hilarious. Yeah. Did he stare at you? Because Sonny told the story of how when you're driving, he's like just staring at you and say, "What?" He says, "I gotta make sure you stay awake."
Gotta keep your eye on the driver.
Oh, that's what he said. Yeah, gotta keep your eye on the driver. He was unbelievable. Let's talk about front row wrestling.
Okay.
Reb, who did you have for like a crew to help you? You know what I mean? Like, when it came down for the show,
was a basic-
who helped set up the ring and all
Well,
that?
It was all the boys too.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just part of it.
Right.
I mean, that would have been Tony. That would have been Christian Angers. That would have been Shane. That would have been.
I just added him on Facebook. Got him as a Facebook friend.
Yeah, I don't hear from them that often. He's a nice guy too. Jesse
He
Scott.
was pretty good.
Jesse Scott. I mean, even Johnny Vegas would come in and occasionally pretend to help with the ring. Dr. Heresy would help with it. Basically, everybody on the crew. I
Nice.
mean, we had the fastest ring setup you ever saw in your
Really?
life. I mean, people didn't like the ring. and
Was it the small ring?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But
even though it had like 1,000 pieces.
That was the thing.
And all
Really?
the come-alongs and
Yeah.
everything had to be
It was a lot of
strapped
parts.
down.
It was just we'd have the thing up in half an hour.
Right,
you know?
right. That's wild. I helped set up a ring once.
Yeah.
It was at in Everett where Sam Mata would run shows. I just happened to be there early, and everybody was doing something. I'm like, I'll help. I don't care. I'm not doing nothing.
And Dave Barron would help, even though he dropped a ring post on his head one time. That was good.
On his head?
On his head. He stood it up. He went to walk away. It fell. It hit him in the head. And those ring posts.
Wow. That's crazy. All right. Tony, who were some of the best guys you were in the ring with?
The guys who I learned the most from, well, obviously, because he's sitting right next to me, I bet Brown knows a little bit.
Yeah. You mean Todd Graham?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, Matt.
You get the blame, Todd, not me.
I kept coming, I kept showing up, and for every week I showed up, Maverick gave me something new to bust my chops through. I remember there was 1 week where I wasn't getting up the long way correctly.
Yeah.
So that's where you left over right, you get up, you make your full dummy turn around. And Matt's like, "Oh, Okay. Well, apparently you think you can just get up by getting up to your knees and standing straight up. Everybody get in the line. We're all going to bump Tony Spencer until he starts getting up the right way.
How long did it take, Tony?
Probably took about the first 5 people I got it, but we did it twice. We did it twice.
That's awesome.
If you just try to get up straight, you will exhaust yourself.
Right.
You're basically doing a full squat.
The only good wrestler you wrestled is Mav, though?
No,
You didn't
no.
wrestle any-
Johnny Vegas,
Yep.
Stephen Marriott. Well, I've never really wrestled against Johnny Vegas. Johnny Vegas and I have always been heels.
Oh, okay.
So we've always been on the same side of the fence.
You're the first one to mention that you had great matches with Steve Marriott, and that's not a knock on him. I'm just saying that's the first time that anyone's brought him up.
When it came down to taking someone who was green as grass and
Right.
saying, "Hey, this is where we're going to walk through this. Here's where we're going to be.
Right.
I'm going to put you here where you need to be." He always did.
That's
he always
awesome.
knew exactly what needed
always
to be
liked the
done,
kid.
when
Nice
to do
kid.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
what's he doing now? Do you talk to Steve at all? Anybody?
He comments once in a while when I make my my grandiose statements about being the Granite State
I love
champion.
that,
He's
too.
like, well, I still got a return match. I'm like, come and get it.
Yeah, but you're not just that Granite State champion. You are
That's
the
true.
Bay State
The
champion,
Bay State
too.
champion. I just won Dick Lane's All-Star Championship. I'm the Ocean State Championship down
Champion
in
of
RWA.
champions here, Mav. Look what you did.
You're champion of the
That's
Ocean State
awesome.
job lot.
Yeah, the Ocean State job lot. I'm the Savers champion. Absolutely.
That's awesome. All right, well, guys, we're gonna just start talking off the cup because I only wrote so much stuff down.
whatever,
yeah.
Some of the companies you work for quite a few indies.
Yeah.
And they're not, recently in a way. Let's talk about some of them. Proving Ground. What do you think of Todd Graham?
Todd Graham and I have had a long relationship, especially when it comes to wrestling.
Yep.
And I'm thankful enough that Todd Graham still feels the need to book me because he has an incredible roster of talent. I don't know. He just keeps bringing me back, so I don't
That's
know.
good.
I guess they must get sick of all the guys doing all the flashy moves, so they need me to go out there once in a while.
Well, it
to kinda-
allows them to grade themselves on the curve, and actually feel better about themselves.
There you go. There
right.
you
If
go.
they screw somebody up, they can go, well,
Now, you've also worked for NCW.
Yes,
correct?
yes.
For JC?
Now, there's a great story about that, Leah.
All right.
For years,
Excellent.
For years, I was looking for my way into NCW. I'm like, how am I going to get into NCW? I would talk to Brett Ryan Gosselin. I would talk to Todd. I would talk to Atlee. I would talk
Right.
to Shane Daly. I'm like, how am I going to get into NCW?
You need to
And-
talk to JC.
well, and that's what happened. JC made a post on Facebook one night. He's like, I got 2 pieces of furniture from Bob's Discount Furniture, and it's an outlet store, so they won't deliver it. And I'm like, if you book me, I will drive down
And you
there.
did?
I will pick up your TV stand and bureau and help you bring it into your house. Boom. There was my NCW match. And not only...
You only had one. You did that, and they only gave you one match. JC.
JC, are you watching this right now? JC, give me another match. I don't care what I have to help move, paint, clean. I'll do it. But he gave me a match that I've been after for a long time, and that was Tough Talk Tony Spencer versus Dr. Heresy.
Nice.
Which, as soon as he posted it, I'm like, this is incredible. And then
Right.
we went out and did it, and we ran it. I saw it run back on the replay. I'm like, we got to do it again.
That's awesome.
And I think the right place to run back Tough Talk Tony Spencer versus Dr. Heresy would be one of the upcoming big leagues, if you will, of the New England area, New England Ring Gladiators. Gladiators. I always put an extra G
Yes,
in that.
yes. I was going to go to the show a couple weeks ago, and then when I popped it up, it said a 2-hour drive. So I kind of said, I want to go out to eat instead. I definitely need to make my way down there. That's a great new company. Started by, Davey and Shay? Is Chris part of that, too?
I
or
think Chris is a part of that.
Okay,
yeah.
so it's the 3 of them? So that's good, though. That's good.
wrestling has changed so much for the worse. Years ago, you just would have traded sexual favors to get on that show.
Damn, I should have been in the wrestling business. That's all right. All right. You just beat Dick Lane for the
I just
All-Star
beat Dick Lane
Championship.
for the All-Star Championship.
And that was for what company?
That was for Proving Ground.
Proving Ground.
Yeah. But those were the old Elk Mania titles.
Okay.
So they've all kind of converged upon me.
Right.
Where the big Elk title is now on my head.
Nice. Now, who you defended it against next? The Bay State Championship.
It's going to be an open challenge.
Nice.
It's whoever comes out and accepts
Mav, you
that
got a
challenge.
challenger?
Are you kidding me?
I've bothered Mav about this.
I'm sure you have. I'm sure.
I mean, the last time Mav was like, I'm going to make another run at this, he actually called me up and we were over at Nepwa. That's what they call it now, right?
Yep, Nepwa, yep.
I'll always say chaotic.
yeah,
but,
me
yeah.
too, pretty much. But Nepwa.
No. Every old guy thinks they got one left in them.
Right.
And just
Ric Flair still thinks he has one in him too.
For lack of a better thing, I don't want to embarrass myself, to be frank with you.
No, I hear you. I mean, you had a good career, and like, if you feel that way, then you definitely shouldn't get back. You know what I mean? Because
like, I wouldn't mind, but at the same time, I don't know if I could pull it off. I really don't. You know.
did you ever thought of being a manager? Just seriously, did you ever
Occasionally,
think?
but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think that everybody understands quite how.
Right. Because I'll tell you, you don't see a lot of managers around, but at NCW, they got 1 million of them.
Okay.
They really, no, they did. There must have been 5 managers there Friday night. That was the first time I seen that many.
Yeah, like I've talked
Was
about.
it more? It might have been more than 5.
I've talked about it before, but if I'm not physically involved and
Yeah.
smashing people up,
Right.
it doesn't feel right.
And you like you have no desire to ever run again, like run shows again. Because New Hampshire just had a show last night. Chaotic Wrestling ran in Dover. Now, did you ever run that building in Dover?
No, that was for a while. That building was. I looked into it. That building was basically persona non grata for a while.
Yeah.
They weren't booking wrestling at all.
Okay.
I won't get into why. I don't need to upset people that know why.
Right.
But they were not booking it. It had nothing to do with me. And apparently they have softened their position on that at this point. But I mean, talking 10 years ago,
Right.
10, 12, 15 years ago. Good Lord.
Yeah, I didn't get to go to the show, but I did see that Brian Malonis was on the show.
Yeah. Jeff ran there frequently.
Did he? Yeah. That's why I thought you might have ran there, because I did know Jeff ran there.
I
And
looked
Bradley ran there too, right? No?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
the problem was.
Okay. I hear you. We don't need to go any further than that. All right, so you got an open challenge at what? Ultimate Alliance for Proving Ground. That's the next one for you? Is
No,
that?
that's
Or that already happened?
yeah, that already happened. Yeah, that was.
I am so good at my job. I
It's
swear
okay.
to God.
I'm not used to shows being named either, Leo. Like I was just show up for wrestling. Okay, what is
Right.
it? I don't know.
I don't know. Just give me a belt.
Who are you wrestling? I don't know. Are you gonna win? I don't know.
Show up and shut up.
So now, when you guys were both working, did you guys travel together to shows too?
Sometimes.
Yeah, once in a while.
Yeah, that must have been fun.
Sometimes we'd ride with my wife, and my wife would remind Tony how stupid he was.
Yep.
And
That's true. That is also true.
but she would always hook it to an incident. Like one time he hit his head on the ring apron in
Yeah, that was
Vermont.
that was in White River Junction.
Right,
Yeah.
Right River Junction,
Yep.
Vermont. He had to come stay with us.
Yep.
So I thought I'd feed him alcohol and ice cream.
I got to say this. I talked to Todd Graham earlier today, and I have to say this. When you were on the show last time,
Mm-hmm.
you hit me with your shoe. You hit me hard with that shoe, but I no-sold it. And Todd said, that's good. You no-sell that stuff. I was like, afterwards, I was like, mother, hit me hard.
Well, I trained him. What do you expect?
Was that on purpose or something? I said to myself.
Of course it was. I had a match with him one time in Rochester, New Hampshire. Within a minute, he'd almost broken my teeth out, almost broken my ribs, and almost knocked me out.
I don't like when it doesn't look real.
Yeah.
I don't like it when it doesn't look real either.
I got popped in the face at the last Proving Ground show, and I'm like, oh, this is what I need. All right, we're in it now.
And who were you wrestling?
I was in the Rumble there, the North Shore
Okay.
Rumble with Stephen Lust, and we were just kind of staring each other down and shoving each other back and forth. And he comes over with a pop in the face, and I'm like, sent me back a little bit. There was no juice or
Right.
anything, but I'm like, all right, this is what I need. Let's just start punching people.
And that was the one that was won by Sean Lita,
Yes,
who is now getting a shot.
at Mike Montero.
Yeah, the
You mean
ace,
that- yeah.
who I saw for the very first time Friday night and was very impressed. Him and Ricky Medeiros, they opened the show. And what a great match. And great seeing two kids that I wanted to see.
Mm-hmm.
It never, I saw them on tape, on YouTube and stuff like that, but to be there live, they look like they could be brothers, first of all. Honestly. And I know they're a tag team in other places or what, maybe even there, but they had the same gear and stuff. What a match. Honestly, have you ever seen?
No.
Oh, I'm telling you, man, you'd be impressed, huh? I'm telling you,
Yeah,
Montero's
they
very
are-
good.
they are
man.
quite
So was
impressive.
Ricky. It was a great show. We were talking about, you said Nepwa, right? Have you had a chance to wrestle any of the kids that have been coming up through their schools at any of the shows?
I'm not good enough for that.
No.
Oh, don't say
Don't say that. I think you're good enough.
Come on, I taught you better.
Oh God, I really see where all those kids are going, and it's great. I mean,
Yeah.
they go out there and Randy Rivera went over to England, and Ava just won a championship in Germany.
Yeah, she won that
WXW,
14
yeah.
carat women's thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think LaFista was in that tournament too, and Ava Everett won.
Oh, Lufisto?
Yeah, what did I call her?
La Fista.
Yeah, I'm bad. So I called.
She's Mexican now, apparently.
I called Nico Silva the other day. I was like, Nico Sika. And I'm like, what? And Sonny's like, you just call him Nico Sika. And I'm like, no, I didn't.
Nico
I watched it
Cito.
back, and
Yeah,
sure enough, nobody edited it out.
Nico Cito. Yes, he's the midget version of Nico. Yes.
And I hope that was the same night I said the OP, the original Prestige. I thought they were old Prestige because, Ryan's kind of old. He's going to kill me next time he sees me.
Ryan, you're goddamn old.
Hey, it's a good thing I'm not going to be at the APW show on March 19th. They'll have to beat up Maria, not me.
Oh, God, how old is Ryan Drew? Oh, my God.
But it was bad.
I think he was booked in New Bedford for Joe Eugenio.
Sorry, Ryan. Now you guys laugh.
Ford.
It's going to get me killed. I think
Pfeffer. Bowser. Drew. I'm so glad it came on tonight.
But when I said old Prestige, Sonny's like, no. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, it's called the original Prestige. I said, yeah, but they're old. But they're not really that old. I'm just joking around.
Well, one of them is.
Yeah, Aye. You brought up a young kid, B.I.G.
Yeah, Brett Ryan Gosselin.
Any, what are your thoughts on the kid?
I think he's fantastic. I think what they got, that whole angle they got going down there with the mentor and Channing Thomas. That works for me, man. It really works for me. I got to get down to one of those New Bedford shows.
God, me too. I've never been to New Bedford.
You've
shows.
never been to the?
Nope.
We got to go.
Yeah?
You want to ride down?
Let's do it.
I live in Manchester now.
I live right in Nashville. Pick me up on your way.
Absolutely.
Wow,
You
let's
pay
do it.
gas money though, right? You're not one of these
Dude,
deadbeats.
listen. I'll get the company gas card for my girlfriend. We'll be all set.
There we go.
We don't have to pay for gas.
That's all I'm
and
looking
she just
for.
gives me the card.
That's all I'm looking for.
Is it?
That's what he mean.
Is
Whoa,
it
whoa, whoa.
customary?
Wait.
Whispering.
Is it? I know. It's on. It's brought. You dummy. Everybody's gonna hear it.
So a lot of people will say to me,
Yeah.
a lot of people will say to me, Leo, they'll be like, what is it about Maverick Wild that inspires you?
Yes.
And I'll say to them, well, you got to understand, he lights me on fire. And people will stop, they'll correct me, they'll go, you mean he lights a fire under you? I'm like, no. He lights me on fire.
Yeah, tell us about that.
So there have been two different occasions.
He lit you on fire twice?
Twice. Two different front row shows.
Not even in a match, so we can make money with it.
Nope. Just not even death match. Like
What happened? Well, you got to
Nope.
tell me these stories.
So I'm just sitting there talking to someone,
Yeah.
just pleasantly distracted, and he just starts flicking a bic near me, and I'm like, oh, it's just Maverick trying to be crazy,
Right.
just trying to play head games with me. He'll walk by, flick the bic, walk by, flick the bic. And I'm sitting on the ring apron talking to my then girlfriend. I like to go up to that amusement park up in Maine. Funtown Splashtown.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm wearing the long sleeve T-shirt for the New England's largest wooden roller coaster, the Excalibur.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there just having a pleasant conversation. I think his kid was talking about throwing pennies at homeless people or something. It was.
What are you teaching Zach?
Only the best.
Only. So I'm just sitting there talking, pleasantly distracted. He comes up behind me and he lights my shirt on fire. Oh, God. And I'm like, what's going on? He realizes that it's going to get bigger than he thought it was. He jumps up, he starts slapping it out. And I'm like, what are you doing?
And it was such a dangerous situation that 3 weeks later, when we were in the same building,
You decided to do it again.
he was doing something. I think he was tightening the turnbuckles on the ring. And I walked up behind him and I put my arm around him. And of course, I get the lighter down by the back end of his shirt. Everybody's watching. Oh, like, hey, remember like 3 weeks ago when I set you on fire? Yeah, that was pretty funny. I said, yeah, you smell smoke.
Gosh, you don't smoke. What did you have a lighter for? To light him on fire. I said, give me a lighter. I need to light Tony on fire.
I had a guy named Joe Puffer on the show. I'm pretty sure I could get hold of a lighter when I needed it.
No doubt. I usually have 2 or 3 in my pocket, so if you want to light him on fire, just let me know. Somebody did say, like when I posted it, I was having the 2 shows, someone said, is someone going to light Tony on fire? And I think you said, no, it's not going to happen.
No.
Why? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I would come up with a different way to torture him. And we've tortured him so badly over the years.
Really?
Me and my son. It was just terrible. We took him fishing one time off the coast of Maine. And this was right before he was going into the Navy.
Yeah.
And it turned out Tony gets extremely seasick, and he didn't know this, and he was going to the Navy in a week. So me and my son, he wasn't quite ready to vomit, so me and my son thought we would help that along.
Yeah.
And we would just do the grossest things or the most annoying things. We thought it was like you're on the boat and you can hear the motor and it's like going through you. Bum, 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 bum. So I'm on one side of him and Zach's on the other. And I said, doesn't that sound of that motor just make you like feel kind of queasy? It just makes your stomach roll. And we just both get bum, 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 bum. And we do it every couple of minutes. Bum, bum, bum. But that wasn't working. So the next thing is like, so they give you the clams for bait, right?
Yeah.
So me and Zach are like giving them wet willies with the clams, hanging them out of our mouths. And we're trying to rock the boat, and everybody in the boat's getting pissed off at us because we're trying to make him vomit. And then finally, he did vomit. The only thing that came up was like purple Powerade that was in his stomach. It was great. He got an award. He won an award.
I got to ask something. So you went to the Navy. You'd never been on a boat before you signed up for the Navy?
Nope. I didn't think it was
My
necessary.
dad was in the Navy.
I didn't think it was necessary.
How long were you in the Navy for?
3 months. Well, see what it is the recruiters, they lie to you. They gotta jack up those numbers.
Yeah.
They can't be sending out those rookie numbers.
Right.
They gotta really do up the numbers. So there's always a bunch of guys and girls that go out that they find something wrong. Like one kid was getting sent home because he got frequently constipated. There was another kid who there's like, oh, you took Ritalin in high school. He's like, I never took Ritalin in high school, but they'll make it up because they want to send you home.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
but apparently
They want you in, but they don't need that many.
Exactly. Apparently I had pre-hypertension. So it wasn't enough for them to give me any Lipitor or anything.
Right.
But it was just enough to send me home.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But I just find it so
I think
funny
it's
that
more
you've
like-
never been on a boat.
I think it was more like, you've been here 4 weeks, you can't tie any of these knots. Get out.
Yeah, they teach you how to tie any knots? Yeah? Can you still do it?
No.
At least you're honest, man. I got to give you that. You're very honest.
There's a very
That's
crude joke
awesome.
in there that I won't do.
Come on.
No.
Come on.
No.
All right.
All right. I picture him sitting at home going, God damn it, wrong knot.
Wah, wah.
Wah, wah, yeah. Wah, wah.
Edit that part out.
That's funny. Guys, you guys watch wrestling on TV at all?
A little.
I watched the clips on YouTube.
So they say the AEW show last night was unbelievable. I didn't see it. Todd Graham actually told me it was phenomenal, and I've heard it was phenomenal. Did you see anything? Did you hear about
I
it?
saw Sting jump off the balcony through those 4 tables. That
Nice.
looked incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, 62 years old and he's jumping through tables.
He's only 62. I thought he was older than that. Seriously, 62. What do you think about Darby Allin?
I like Darby
I've
Allin.
never seen him.
You never seen Darby?
Never seen Darby Allin?
Nope. I saw Regal showed up, which is
Yeah.
that's always a positive
And he
development.
slapped them both in the face, I heard. Daniel Bryan and Moxley. I don't know what happened after that. I just know he slapped them in the face.
To me, he's more what they need. To be
You know-
they don't have that element.
Why they got rid of this guy, right? Who everybody loved, who you know of his wrestling mind. That had to be one. I'm sorry, but like they let a lot of guys go. But that to me is one of the dumbest things they did was let Regal go. Honestly,
Yeah, it was.
everybody loved him. He's got an incredible mind for the business, and they just let him go. And of course, AEW picked him right up. Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
Why would you drop a guy that good? You know what I mean? At his job. And you know he was good at his job. Look at all the stars he made when he was down in NXT helping. You know, and he helped a lot of the women too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Most of that, a lot of those women, you know who it really helped too was
Finley.
Finley.
Finley
yeah.
was the one who started.
He was the one that
He worked
really
a lot
got the
with-
girls.
He worked a lot with Trish Stratus
Yes.
and Lita.
Yeah, and then he started working with all the other ones when they came up. Sasha,
Yep.
Charlotte, all Asuka. I mean,
Yeah.
and look at them all. They're all phenomenal workers. You know? Who's your favorite female worker right now?
Thunder Rosa.
Ooh, that's a good answer. That's a really good
Thunder
answer.
Rosa is just incredible.
Yep.
Like I first now when the NWA was doing their 1-hour shows on YouTube.
Yep.
Every Tuesday night, NWA Power.
Yes.
I was actually watching those religiously because
Right.
it's like I can't sit down and watch 3 hours of wrestling, but
exactly.
I can sit down and give you a dedicated hour of my
Right.
time if
Right.
what you're going to give me is quality.
Yeah.
And they were still running they were running the angle with Thunder Rosa and Allison Kay.
Yes.
And Camille still wasn't
Yep.
talking yet.
Right.
Nick Aldis was the champion to look at. And
Yep.
I still think that I agree that, Matt Cardona is he's done an incredible job for himself post WWE.
No doubt.
And even
No
getting
doubt.
himself up to that point, he's one
Right.
of those guys who's really kind of pushed out and said, all right, here's everything I can do. I'm going to do everything
Yep.
and I'm going to get everything I can out of it.
Right.
And that's great. But Trevor Murdoch having such a short reign as the NWA champion after beating a guy who had a long reign.
Very long reign.
Like
Was it
Nick
like 500
Aldis.
days or something
Yeah, it was
like that?
ridiculous.
It was almost 2 years.
But to me, Trevor Murdoch was that personification of the old NWA.
Right.
He was that
Yeah.
he was that old Harley race
Exactly.
type.
Now, wasn't he trained by Holly? Or Holly had a hand in some of his training?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
I think I remember hearing that he was with Harley
Yeah.
on his last days.
Yep.
And but to me, it's
And
like
Holly gave him the Murdoch name because you reminded him of Dick Murdoch.
who was a terrible human being, as I've come to learn.
Yeah,
Just a
me too.
terrible
Me
human
too.
being.
Yeah, he was a member of some white group.
Yeah.
He was a white supremacist.
Yeah, the white supremacist group. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I heard a story. I don't know if it was him, but they sent Tony Atlas and somebody else. Sweet Hansen sent Tony Atlas and somebody else to a bar, and they were having a rally, a KKK rally.
Oh, boy.
And they sent them there. Imagine that. Then he said, I just want to see if he was tough enough to be the champion. What? So you send him to a place where he might get killed by 50 guys? But are you kidding me? Who's going to go after Tony Atlas? Got to be pretty stupid, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Speaking of Tony Atlas, you
you
guys
gotta
must
be
have
at a-
met Tony
you
plenty
gotta
of
be at a-
times.
Tony? Oh, God.
You guys got any funny?
It's actually, I hate to say it because it kind of makes him look stupid, but Tony's actually very clever.
Yeah.
But maybe not the most book smart of guys.
Right.
So we
Definitely.
were wrestling at Holman Stadium, and he came in, he had this lump on his arm. And I was like, Tony, what the hell's going on with your arm? He said, well, I don't know. That lump just started growing there. I said, you probably got to go to the doctor, have that thing biopsied. And he used more words that were not biopsy, that sounded biopsy, to describe what was going on with his arm.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, just go have the biopsy, Tony. Okay. A bibliopsy, a bibliography, a Bilbo Baggins.
I had a couple of interactions with Tony. He was always a good guy.
Go
though.
to the doctor. Go to the doctor at Hobbit Town and go have a Bilbo Baggins.
Did you ever find out what it was?
No.
No?
He was probably growing another muscle.
Yeah, probably. He's a big dude.
Jesus.
I think I'm going to the gathering. I think he's going to be there this year. And it's not the insane clown posse gathering, first of all. I love you, Vern, but I'm not going. Vern asked me to go to the gathering with him. No, he didn't.
Listen. Let me go out in the parking lot and run around for 20 minutes. Then I'll shove my armpit in your nose.
No, you're not. You can just his.
We'll do it for 5 minutes, and that'll be like 5 minutes of the gathering with the juggalos.
I can imagine.
Smelling my crappy armpit.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty funny. I love how I'm fascinated by the Insane Clown Posse. To be able to do what they've done and not have any records played on the radio and stuff. You got to admit, talk about self-promoting.
Did you ever read Terry Funk's book?
No.
He worked for him.
Did he really?
He worked for him. And he basically, it's like a quarter of a chapter he dedicates to it. And he just kept saying, I can't believe I'm settling to work for these freaks. I can't, all the stories he's heard
Right.
about him, and I can't believe I'm going out working
bet
for,
you their
for
money
two
was good,
rapping
though.
clowns. They paid him like $5,000 for the night. He said, and boy, do I love the Insane Clown Posse.
Exactly. That's awesome.
Joey Eastman wanted me to work for them one night.
Yeah?
Yeah, there was that gimmick they were doing, and they were running in Worcester, and it was whoever could last 5 minutes in the ring with Butterbean.
Yeah.
And I think it was like $400.
No.
Thank God I left my phone at home that day
Yeah,
because
I'm glad you did, because you would have brain damage right now.
Well, because when it comes to being talked into things,
Yeah.
like my radar should go up around some
$400 is
people,
gonna
but then
be-
like Joey calls me, it's just like, well, I don't know, Joey really sounds convincing. Like I know better, but hang on, I got my jacket.
Mav, can I borrow a suit of armor?
But I ended
Got
up,
that,
like I
like,
said,
Lanny
luckily
Poffo in a
I ended
battle
up
royal.
leaving my phone at home, so I missed that phone call. But I think he ended up getting Vinny Marcellia to do it
Really?
before he became the horror king or
Yeah.
whatever.
That's talk about a creative kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, didn't he have two gimmicks going pretty much at the same time? The Horror King and what was the other one? I don't know. He had two of them going. I know them. I just can't think right now. But whatever.
I remember there
very
was
creative kid.
I remember there was one match that Sonny was doing some sort of benefit show, like his daughter was in the Future Business Leaders of America or something in
Okay.
Milford, and it was Ryan Drew, and he was
Who, the old guy?
but
gonna kill
Vinny,
me.
He was
Vinny,
only like
He's gonna
75
kill
then.
me.
it was him and Vinny, and I think Vinny was still his
Yeah.
trainee at this point.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah, he
remember
was.
they messed up a spot, and then for the next 5 minutes, I watched Ryan Drew beat the crap out of him.
Oh, yeah.
And then he picked him back up. He's like, "All right, we're gonna try to do this again."
For all the crap we just gave him a couple of minutes ago,
Yeah.
Ryan Drew's an incredible.
Oh,
trainer.
he's no doubt. No, the great work.
tough, hard.
I gotta
hard
say some
trainer.
nice things so he don't kill me next time. Ryan Drew's a really good worker. He don't look that old.
Oh God, I know. If he took the curb
He's gonna
feelers,
kill
he should
me.
take the curb feelers off his car, though. He really should.
Did you ever work for Ryan?
No, we just spent half this interview. We're gonna talk about front row. We're gonna talk about all this time. And no, we just crapped on Ryan Drew for like 10 minutes.
And why? I don't know why.
Because I had to be
Perfectly
stupid
nice
and
guy.
didn't bring it up.
But is it Drew that's running things down there, or is it still Steve Ricard?
But I think Steve.
as I
think Ryan
understand
books,
it,
right?
they have each of them have their own shows that they run under the same name. I think Brockton, I believe, is Drew.
Okay.
And I might be speaking out of turn. I'm sorry, Drew. What do I tell you? You're not going to remember anyway. He's too old.
Let's hope we don't watch this episode anyways.
It's up past his bedtime. I'm going to eat my applesauce and what's that, Leo Cutters?
I am dead. I'm glad I'm not going to see him on March 19th. I really am.
I should go see him now. I hit them with bow. Ow.
What's going to happen? You know
Punch
who
me right in the face.
who hit me up today was Crazy. Wanted me to call him. I got wicked busy at work, so I'm going to give him a call tomorrow.
Good luck.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get him on the show again, though.
Okay.
I thought he was pretty fun last time. Mav, it's like almost 500 views between the live and the TV version. I mean, so people watched it. You know? They don't watch every episode, but they watch that one. You know?
What? This one went off the rails? Better watch that one.
A lot of them go off the rails. A lot of them go off the rails.
Yeah. I don't even think you have a train some nights.
So, I don't know. Do you want to? We could shit on some more people if you want.
Who do you want to shit on?
I don't know. Rocky Raymond.
Oh, God.
I don't even really know. I only had that one Rocky
We
Raymond
should really
story.
only crap on people that Tony would be able to crap on with us.
All right,
you know?
Tony. Let's get
So I got the chance to ride with Bob not too long ago.
Bob Evans.
Bob Evans.
I saw Bob Friday night, but I didn't say hi. I saw him.
I joined up with him for a little excursion in last, was it May?
Yeah.
May. We went out to Ohio. We did a little loop.
Was Tim Hughes there too?
No, it was myself, Ryan Frost
Yep.
from Test of
Yep.
Strength, and this other kid, Michaels Amiato, who shaves. He actually does this interesting gimmick where he's his own manager. So he wear half of his gear is regular wrestling gear,
Right.
and then half of it is like a suit and a jacket.
Yeah.
So he will roll on the outside and yell encouragement to himself, then roll back on the inside and wrestle the match.
Can I have his booking information?
That is crazy.
Yes, you can.
I've never heard anyone doing something like that.
Yeah.
What's his name again?
Michaels Amiato.
Can you send a friend invite from his social media account to Jim Cornette because I'm sure he would love to.
Yeah.
No, this kid goes down to school in Morton a lot.
Okay. Oh, Ricky
And,
Morton.
Yeah, and he works down there and trains
Yep.
down there. So I thought he was a pretty solid hand.
Right.
But
I'm sure he is. I'm just joking around, but that's a weird
Just one of
gimmick.
them. The other
That
one's
is
terrible.
very, very weird. I never heard of
Yeah,
anyone
right.
trying to become their own
yeah,
manager.
Ryan Frost is just awful. But Ryan Frost owes me veal parmesan from Vincenzo's, and I'm putting that out there right in here tonight on Leo Connor's show.
I met Ryan Frost one time, and we were talking on Facebook or whatever, and I no-sold him, because he tried to put me down, and I just laughed and said, I ain't gonna respond to this. Big goof. I'm just kidding. He's just around. I'm just busting your chops. He's not a bad worker, though.
No, not
He's
at all.
coming along. I think I saw him in the last Pat Dillon show that I did the concessions for. He worked, and it was Ryan. He gave me his wallet to hold. That's the first time anyone gave a wallet to a kid from Lowell.
You know what we should
And
have.
still had the money in it
You
when
know
he
how we
came
should have
back for it.
prepared for the show? We should come up with every promotion in the area that Tony hasn't worked for and ask him if he worked for.
Did you ever work for Ray Abada? What about NXT? I'm sorry, Tony. I'm just doing what Matt told me
said
to
How
do.
about Vacation Land Championship Wrestling? Have you wrestled Vacation Land Championship Wrestling?
I was offered.
Nice. Do you work for Let's Wrestle? Limitless.
Do not bring up those promotions here.
Why?
You do not.
What happened?
Because you know that you.
No, I really don't know.
Somebody fed this to you, didn't
No,
they?
I
Just to get me
swear to
mad.
God,
Just
I
to get me
swear to
mad.
God.
You know how bad I want to work for Randy.
Really?
You know how bad I want to work. I
Randy.
can't even believe you.
Randy.
I can't even believe
Hold
you.
on, Tony. Hold on. But Randy, can you book him? Like he could even be just a manager if you don't
No,
want him
I don't want to be a manager.
No, he
I
wants to
wanna-
wrestle.
I want to wrestle.
Sorry,
Randy, I don't know you, but I'm going to tell you how you finance this project. What you do is you book Robbie Ellis. He will overpay he will overpay for Tony and himself, and you can turn around and take the excess money and channel it into advertising. Of course, then you're advertising Tony Spencer versus Robbie Ellis, so I don't know what that gains you.
Tony, did you ever have that pleasure of wrestling Robbie Ellis?
I have shared a locker room with him,
But you've
I've
never
never
wrestled him.
No. I don't think I would have been Robbie's type.
And I gotta ask, is he one of the wrestlers like Mav who will walk around naked in the locker room?
Just the fact that Robbie walks around the locker room is disturbing enough. He doesn't have to be half dressed. He just. I gotta tell you, the one time I was so
I gotta sit back 'cause Dick's gonna yell at me. He taped
I
me
was
before.
so unimpressed with Todd Sopel
Yeah.
was when Robbie came over to Mav at a Peabody show and was like, hey, Mav, he's in this creepy way. He's like, I just want to squash the heat, Mav. I want to make sure Robbie, get the fuck away from me. Don't look at me. Don't talk to. All Sopel had to do was to be the general of his own locker room was to step and say, Robbie, sit in that corner. Mav, sit in that corner. You guys leave each other alone. But Sopel just,
You know who did it? Bob.
Bob Evans, yeah.
That's enough.
yeah, Bob had to do it.
Bob had to be an adult in the room. Sorry, Bob.
Now, Bob ran what, EWA?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, he ran that for a while. 'Cause he's
he
not
did.
still running that, right? He hasn't ran a show in, 10 years?
Not EWA. That was,
that's
Jerry-
right.
There was EPW.
Yes, that's right. I'm sorry, you're right.
EPW was Jeremy.
Yeah.
Jeremy
And me.
and Scott King,
And
you.
me later, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So,
Do they still run the Turnverine?
Did you ever work for EWA?
Yes, I did.
Oh my God, what a horrible mistake.
you
on my
work for
part.
And do you know how I worked for the EWA? I'll tell you how I worked for the
all
EWA.
right.
The alternate warrior.
That was you? Nice.
That was my idea.
That people.
Actually, it was Rip's idea.
That people called me up, and I don't know why I ever stopped doing it because now nobody calls me.
You know,
You remember-
it must be like that one Warrior Nation guy.
So I'm tying into that, all right? So the alternate warrior name came actually from Dover.
yeah.
We had a battle royal up in Dover when Jeff was running it. And this one guy showed up that had been trained, and he had been the American warrior, right? So he showed up for one match. Johnny Vegas wrestled with him. I think we talked about this match on here before.
we did.
Right? And I was supposed to get him next, and he quit. And I was like, thank God. But he shows up like a year and a half later in Dover. So there's a one time I ever saw Rip get like really mad at
Right.
somebody. One of the few times. He asked him, so well, what are you doing? I've just been doing backyard stuff. And Rip got pissed.
Right.
So Rip put himself in the battle royal and beat the living crap out of this
Right.
kid. And then everybody saw how fun it was, and they lined up and did it too.
Listen, I feel bad that when I had you and Rip on that I was sick.
That's okay.
But no, we got to get Rip back on, man, and do it again because you guys, Sonny didn't follow the script.
That's okay,
So it
don't
doesn't
worry.
match up with the other 3 episodes that it's supposed to go with.
That's fine. You get all 3 of us together. It's not going to be nothing but a giant bullshit
That was a
fest
lot.
anyways.
That was a lot of fun though when it was me, you, Sonny in
Yeah.
Vegas, man, and then with Jeff. Did you happen to see?
I can't believe that you got Jeff out here. He doesn't
no,
leave
no,
his
no, no, no.
house.
I didn't get him out.
No.
I knew Rip was coming in. Rip was supposed to do the interview that night, so I offered to pick him up at Jeff because I figured I'd at least put the hook out. I knew I'd get him here.
Nice.
And then they came in. And at first, we were still going to try to do their episode. But
Like that
after
ain't
9
happening.
minutes of Jeff not even breathing, I looked at them. I was trying to write it backwards so they could see. Like, we're just going to interview Jeff from here on out.
No kidding.
The only thing we could do. And he went on and on. And honestly, Joey Eastman commented on it and said, I cancel the show. It ain't going to get no better than that. And I'm like, no. But that was, I mean, again, thank you for that because when I knew I was starting this show, the first name I put to paper was Jeff Cost. And then I'll admit it, the second was Slick Wagner Brown.
You know what my favorite part of that interview was, though? At one point, you asked me, "Hey, Mav, help me out." I went, "Oh no, you're on your own. This is what you wanted."
Yep. Remember what he said too? He goes, "Don't interrupt me." And then he grabs the claws and he starts choking me. That was awesome. Honest. And Rip, always one of the nicest guys to me when I used to do Jeff's shows, you know. Great guy. You know, and your favorite opponent.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Did you ever have the pleasure of wrestling, Rip?
No, he would have been done by the time.
Oh, was he done? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he would have ever practiced with him or anything.
Yeah, there were a couple Wednesdays that I was
Yeah.
able to get in and get a few licks in with
Right.
Rip, but
I remember watching his tag team with Johnny Royal, and that was great. But you know what? I only see Johnny Royal do the wrong way
Yeah.
thing twice.
Yeah.
And I swear to this day, that was 2 of the best nights I ever been to wrestling. I never seen anything like it. That was what a gimmick. Was that him on his own?
That was him. Actually, you know what it was? Boy, we're really kind of all over the place here.
Yeah, we are.
Well, guys, all I had was this right
I had Justin Howard,
Shape.
Justin Shape
Yep.
working for us.
Yep, Justin McGuire.
And so they were a tag team. And for whatever reason, because Justin is like as liberal as it gets,
Right.
right? So I said, I get the gimmick for you. You're going to be Rush Limbaugh. You're going to be the Rush Limbaugh of professional wrestling. So we started calling him the right way, Justin Shape.
Yeah.
So Johnny decided he was going to become wrong way, and he just acted as stupid and
That's
as
awesome.
crazy as possible. Yeah.
Did you ever wrestle Johnny Royal?
I have a funny story about wrestling Johnny
Nice.
Royal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love Johnny.
I was
Rob's a
at
great
practice
guy.
in Nashua one night, and we would all pair off and kind of do our own thing. And I turned to Johnny Royal. And I was like, "Hey, Johnny Royal, you want to get in the ring and work out with Tony Spencer?" He's like, "No, I hear you're stiff." It's like, no offense, but I have no need to get in the ring with someone who hits hard like you do. I'm like, cool,
That hurt your feelings, huh? A little bit?
little bit,
A little bit.
a little bit.
Did he ever help you and say anything to you to make you feel better later?
No, that was my job.
That was what?
That was my job.
Wow.
I'm a beacon of encouragement.
Right? This is great. All right, let's talk about some of the female wrestlers in the area. How about that?
Okay,
All right. Now throw some names out there. Corinne Mink.
Would you consider her in the area? She
wrestled
trucks-
around
yeah.
here quite a bit. She wrestled with New England All-Stars. If I'm not mistaken, she worked for some guy named Todd Graham at Proving Ground. So, I mean, I know she worked a little. Was she from New York area?
Jersey. Oh yeah.
But I guess she just retired.
Yeah,
And this was just after I kind of found her and was like, wow, she's pretty good. And now she's gone.
Oh, Leo likes me? I'm done.
Yeah, that was it. No, but
No, she hits like a Mack truck. She goes toe
what I
to toe
heard.
with everybody. Like, I think there was a time where she and I were supposed to have a match, but it didn't. It didn't end up happening for whatever reason.
have you ever had any
She said, "I'm not
intergender
dragging that
matches?
far for that."
I have.
All right.
I have against Delilah Hayden.
Yep.
Yep.
Delilah.
I love
Yeah,
Delilah.
I did
She's a great girl. Being Mav, friend of ours.
I did an Irish Spring death match with Delilah Hayden.
Nice. An
Over at the-
Irish Spring death match? What does that consist of?
So-
Using the soap to beat each other up?
Well, not quite. What happens is I fill up a mop bucket
Yeah.
with Irish Spring suds.
Yeah.
We dress up like St. Patrick, yeah, leprechauns essentially. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get it.
Oh, the skunk used to dress up like that.
Really?
We beat each other up.
Yep.
Actually, with the last Irish Spring Death match, I had Delilah Hayden in a head scissors, and I had opened up a box of Lucky Charms, and I was shoving Lucky Charms cereal down her throat, screaming, "They're magically delicious!" And Danny Davis was there, and he watched the whole thing.
The former referee, WWE superstar,
Yeah, and
WWF.
I believe he went over to ring announcer Shane Daly afterwards and said, "Boy, that was something, wasn't it?"
Sure was.
But
Saw Delilah Friday night.
yeah, Delilah
Very nice.
also hits like a Mack truck. The
Yeah.
first time I ever got in the ring with Delilah, I had a goose egg right here and a goose egg right here. So
Were you mean to any of her friends? Is that why she beat you
no,
up?
we're very nice to each other.
No,
We
she is a sweetheart. Yeah, I got to see her, and I got to see Dennis too.
I find it's the people who are nicer that hit harder.
Right. Yeah, because they're nice. And
Yeah, it's
they just,
called a pre-apology.
Yeah,
is
exactly.
that what it's called? A pre-apology?
Pre-apology. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm a nice guy,
Bam.
except for that.
Widow Belmont. Widow Belmont. Yeah, that's what
now.
she goes by now. Yeah. Or Mistress Belmont, when she used to ever have any interactions with.
Well, you
Yeah.
must have.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She
Yeah.
worked out at the gym.
Yeah, we did some training together.
Nice.
And actually, she was when Jeff took back over. She was one of the mainstays. I think she actually did when she was training with Jeff. Didn't she do an appearance on TNA?
So.
She had like a brief screen
Right.
time.
Yeah.
Well, I know. I remember when Jeff would manage her.
Yes.
A couple times I was at shows. And matter of fact, when Jeff was honored by Chikara, she was with him. She walked him to the ring that night. She just on the air here said she's done for a while
Yeah.
with wrestling. But she might be doing some other things in wrestling, just not getting in the ring.
She did fit. I think she did fitness competition.
Yeah,
for a
and
little while. She was
Yeah.
in incredible shape. Good Lord.
She placed. She intended to just try for. I think she ended up placing third or fifth
Nice.
or something high up
Nice.
She's somebody that has a capacity for incredible amount of hard work.
Right.
She always has.
Well, speaking of doing like competitions like that, Brandon Locke, that guy, unbelievable how he transforms his body. You know, you ever wrestle with Brandon Locke? Did you ever wrestle with Chaotic,
Is
Tony?
this gonna be a show where you just go down the list of people that I've never wrestled and places I've never wrestled?
so in your
No,
match,
all right, I'll stop.
In your match with John Walters.
Yeah. So
You know, Tony had a weightlifting record.
yes,
Did you really?
I was the record holder for the deadlift in my weight class.
Yes, you were the deadest weight walking around. Yes.
What was the weight?
It was
230.
400 pounds, the 400-pound deadlift
Nice.
in the 340 range.
I couldn't lift that. Yeah, I definitely couldn't.
Was
lift
that with at your cousin Paul's gym?
Yes, it was.
Who's that, Paul?
Yeah, Paul's another guy that had one match, or if he had another match, it wasn't with me.
No, he had the one match against Jesse,
Yes.
Stephen Marriott,
Yeah.
who again pulled a match out of a guy who was green as grass.
Right.
And not good, by the way.
He
Not
was he was in the battle royal that we did at Ultimate Endurance,
Yep.
where Ivar was thrown out of the ring by Dan Thunder, which which I still bring up to him on Twitter sometimes. It never happened.
That's hilarious. Well, how about we talk about a few guys that have been signed that you guys, are a little familiar with. And we'll start with Todd Ivar.
Ivar's great. I mean, I can't talk about too many guys who have just everyone I talk to in New England has had some sort of in-ring time with him.
Right.
And every single story is the same. Yeah, we got in there and we worked around, and when the trainer left the room, he rubbed my face in the mat.
Did you ever hear Amato's story the first time meeting him?
No.
Amato's sitting on a workbench, workout bench. And Todd comes up behind him and sits behind him and starts rubbing him. and he didn't know what to, Amato's like, I didn't know what to do. He's like, so I just sat there. I said, what, you let him fondle you? He goes, yeah. I'm like, what? He goes, and he didn't stop. He said, he just kept going. I was dying. How about Kofi Kingston?
I never worked with Kofi. I never
No.
did.
No.
You didn't
I met
wrestle
him a
him?
few times.
No, I never wrestled Kofi Kingston.
Sasha Banks.
Sasha Banks, I know a little. Not much.
Right.
Know her husband better.
Sasha Banks was very rude to me once.
No, she's.
And-
I'm just gonna say it here. I heard she's not very nice to the fans. I'm serious. That's what I've heard. There's a rumor saying that she's not the nicest superstar.
She married Sarat. That's a I like Surratt.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, she's very talented, though. I
Yeah.
mean, what a great worker.
But I mean, like, if I was someone in her position, I would be picky about who I was nice to, too.
Right. There you
You
go.
know, because sometimes you run into people in New England that you really shouldn't be nice to, but then you're nice to them and you're not quite sure why you're nice to them. So, I mean, she's not a winner like, say, Tommaso Ciampa.
Right, there you go. Yeah, so.
Tommaso was a hard ass. Tommaso was a strict hard ass.
Was he?
And I know he has connections around here, so maybe I should just keep my mouth shut on this one.
Don't work for nobody.
I do not like Tommaso Ciampa. I don't.
Okay.
I don't. And
That's too bad. Like, if he treated you bad, that's too bad, man.
Yeah, it just comes
You're a
down
good guy.
to it comes down to a thing where, like, if you're practicing something, if you're practicing a practice match,
Right.
and you stop because you want to go over something, I think that's the way to do it.
It's practicing, not
But-
in a real match, right?
But the one time I did it over at Chaotic at the training center, not at the Chaotic show.
Right.
I don't want you to think I was booked by
I
Chaotic.
thought you might have been booked there for a second.
It's not
I
getting
love
mixed
you,
up.
Tony. No way.
But yeah, he just starts chewing me out, up
Right.
one side, down the other, and he actually, when we went to shake hands at the end of the night, he shook my hand and left an imprint, like a little stigmata mark,
Right.
in between. So the bruise showed up here and here for like a week and a half.
And I'm sorry, but if you do something like that, he knew what he was doing.
yeah.
That was probably for revenge for the time I bloodied his nose.
Well, you bloodied his nose?
Yeah, when he was first starting off.
Sound like he deserved it. Good thing you did that.
He
'cause,
literally
I mean,
weighed about 135 pounds when he first started off.
I remember the Thomas Penmanship character.
His face has actually grown more than his nose because he used to be very.
But you guys got to admit, he's a good worker.
Oh yeah,
I mean, and he's one of the best things to watch on NXT.
He's going to be off-putting to some people because
Right,
he's
exactly.
so intense.
Yeah.
You know,
and a lot of, I guess it kind of sounds to me similar to what I hear about Austin Aries. I heard he's not really the nicest guy either, but he can work.
I
know?
hear little different stories about
Yeah.
him. You know, I know him a little. When
Right.
I was working at Chaotic years ago. You know, Tony wasn't there, but
Right.
You know, yeah, he was a nice guy. He made a
I thought he was there.
made a pipe out of an apple.
Did he? Did he really?
He did.
He's creative.
He's creative. He's artsy.
I made pipes out of potatoes and apples. And Tony, you got anything to plug?
Tony, what do you
your
make a pipe
upcoming
out of?
show? You know, the upcoming next show you're wrestling and all that.
Yep, I'll be at the RWA
Nice.
Fight for the Farber, defending the Ocean State Championship against the Mighty Bosch. That's the 13th.
Okay.
In
March 13th?
Yep, in Riverside, Rhode Island. They're also doing a show the night before.
Okay.
Also in the same place in Riverside, Rhode Island, March 12th. Of course, you can go on Facebook to find out more information about
Right.
that. All the
And that's
proceeds go to
Renegade
Dana
Wrestling Alliance?
Yes. All proceeds go to Dana Farber.
Nice.
And the 19th, the Proving Ground
Yes.
is back at the Knights of Columbus in Peabody, Massachusetts, where the Bay State Open Challenge will be happening.
Nice. I wish you the best of luck at all your matches.
I hope to see you there.
I hope to see me there too, because I already told Todd I'm going to go, but I won't be there the 19th, though. Mav, anything you want to plug?
Oh, peace!
Peace! You beat me to it. Hi, guys. I hope you're enjoying the show. Listen, I could use a little help to grow my YouTube channel. So if you could please like, share, and subscribe, that's most importantly, subscribe. Send me a direct message, and I'll give you a shout out here on the show. My YouTube channel is real simple. It's just my name, Leo Connors. Thanks in advance. Peace.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.